Are you using this incredibly important tool in your kitchen? No, it's not the cutting board or the knife. It's the kitchen towel holding it all up. If you want to become a more confident cook, you need to start utilizing the humble kitchen towel. The more that you cook, the more you realize the majority of your time isn't spent actually in front of the stove cooking food. The bulk of the work is done on the counter during your prep time. Whenever I'm prepping, there are a few required pieces of equipment. Of course, there's the obvious, a knife, a cutting board, the ingredients I'm actually working with, but the most helpful thing in my station is the actual towel. To correctly utilize a towel, you need to identify if you want to keep it damp or dry. They both have different uses and you want to keep them totally separate. The towel doesn't have to start out damp, but if you have two around, one is bound to be utilized for hand or dish drying. Keep in mind which one that is, as that becomes important later. For the damp towel, I like to think of it as sort of the mess handling one. Your space is dirty after making a sauce, give it a wipe. If you watch me for any given time, you know that I love to have a damp towel under my cutting board pretty much at all times. For camera purposes, I usually use a paper towel, but it's best to use a kitchen towel so you don't burn through a roll of paper towels in a minute. The damp towel keeps the board from sliding around while you're chopping, and that's gonna keep you safe and keep you from cutting yourself. I don't do a ton of baking, but if you need to use a mixing bowl for something, you can wrap a damp towel around the base to keep the whole thing from moving. This will free up your other hand from having to hold the bowl, that way you can mix and add at the same time. Now for the dry towel, this is the king of all towels, and you're gonna wanna keep it dry for as long as possible. The reason being, this is your pot holder towel. Any hot surfaces can be grabbed using a folded towel. Now you don't have to search for a pot holder or trivet because you've already got one in your hand. If you cook with high heat, like I explained recently, you're gonna need to have this around for sure. Keep it away from any liquids, as steam burns can happen really quick and they're super painful. As I mentioned earlier in the video, the majority of cooking is prep, and organization is the key to good prep. Little things like keeping towels nearby and cooking confidently with heat set apart the truly confident and strong cooks from amateurs. I'm here to help you on your journey to become happier and more confident in the kitchen, so join me on this journey. Hopefully by now you've seen the beauty that is the kitchen towel. I've linked to a few down below that are classics, but it's a towel. Just kind of buy whatever you want. It doesn't really make that big of a difference. If you're seriously interested in becoming a better cook, consider subscribing to me for more cooking content. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all the amazing people supporting me on Patreon. Cheers.